Hey, hi, so who are you?
I'm Nate Weiner. I run Readitlater.
Readitlater,
Yes.
which is an awesome service that has millions of users, right?
Yep.
Can you say the number, actually?
It's 3 million registered users at this point.
Wow, and so you have a big team?
No, it's just me. So,
just you? 3 million users?
It's been a lot of work, and it's continuing to kind of get to that level where it's been a little too much for one person, I think.
That's amazing. And how many new users, let me know if you don't want to say those things, but how many users you get per day?
It's in the range of like 3,000-4,000 a day.
Wow, so, congratulations. How did you get the idea?
Well, I started it 3 years ago, and I was working at just like a web design firm in Minneapolis, and I was just sending myself links like of stuff that I wanted to read, and I was just losing them continually, like I just could never keep it. And one day I was like, oh, I think I just, I want to make something so I can keep track of it a little bit better. And at the same time, I wanted to make a Firefox extension. So
that's how it started? It started as a Firefox extension?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, just one night I put it together and put it on my blog. And 3 years later, it's now a full web service, syncing service, iPhone app, iPad app. And yeah, so it's...
So you've done a web service, a plugin, an iPhone and an iPad app alone?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Oh yeah, well, that's very impressive. And you've never worked for anyone else?
No, I mean, I worked at a web design firm in Minneapolis for 2 years.
Oh, sorry. And now it pays the bills and so on?
Yeah, so I left that place in three years ago to do contract work, and essentially I wanted to spend 1 day a week working on the little projects and stuff I had, like that, for example, Readitlater, and then 4 days a week I would do contract work. And just over the course of 3 years, I slowly shifted that. So it wasn't only until this year that Readitlater was making enough that it could be like my full-time job.
And how do you generate revenue?
There's an iPhone app and an iPad app, and then there's
So you sell the app, or is there ads?
No, so there's a free and a paid version. So it's a freemium model.
Right. And then, what else?
And then there's also a web version, a premium version on the web as well.
Very cool.
Called Digest.
And you have, of course, raised funding.
No.
I love those stories because no funding, amazing results, and that's a lesson for a lot of entrepreneurs that think you can't do anything without raising funding first, right?
But I mean, I gotta say, it'd have been interesting to see how fast I could have moved had I had a bunch of people. So I mean, I certainly think it's not a bad thing to raise money. I mean, if you can get it,
well,
then
you keep the company for yourself too, so that's not a bad thing either.
True. So.
And how about the only challenge I would say would be maybe competition, like if you don't raise and they raise or they have raised?
Right. So.
Are you scared about that?
Not so much. I mean, I think that this space is something that we're all still trying to figure out, and it's we're covering about this size of the market, and there's this whole entire section of people that don't even, you go on the street, nobody knows what Readitlater is or any of the other competitors.
I'm not sure about these streets in San Francisco.
Maybe not San Francisco.
Actually, those streets, and I'm giving you my office view, by the way, here. I think in those streets, they pretty much, I keep bumping into people using Sysmic, so you should be able to,
so
that many
let's exclude San Francisco.
Okay.
But there's just so much to still grow. Yeah. I'm not concerned about it at all.
And so what's your plan? You actually want to raise funding?
No, I'm kind of just trying to keep going. It's a profitable company, and I think I'm trying to keep it as a business. It's not something where it's like a startup, where you raise a bunch of money and then you try to figure out how to do the whole thing later. So you want
to just grow it?
I think so.
That's great.
Yeah. So.
And you have an API too that we use with Sysmic.
Yep.
And we integrate you in our iPhone app. And Android. I'm not sure. Are we doing it?
Yeah. I guess we'll have to talk about that.
You're on the iPhone. Yeah, that's why you're here. And don't tell anyone. And so you have also an ecosystem of apps around your.
Yeah. So the API has been awesome. There's tons of iPhone apps and tons of web apps and tons of Android apps, and other developers have filled in the gaps where I'm not on Android, I'm not on BlackBerry, I'm not on Windows 7, but even other Readitlater users have made those apps. Yeah. And so you can pretty much use Readitlater wherever you are. So.
And so how should I pronounce your name again? Nate?
Weiner.
Weiner.
Yeah.
But why do I say that? Weiner. I must be very tired, actually. No, your first name.
Oh, Nate.
I'm sorry?
My first name?
Yeah.
It's Nate.
Nate,
Yeah.
that's what I said. Yeah, I thought I wasn't that tired. So Nate, you've done
It's a long day.
No, I'm just, sometimes it's my French coming back. So 3 million users, iPhone app, iPad app, web service, Firefox plugin, what else?
Yeah, I mean, that about covers it.
Android app coming?
I don't know. We'll
You're
see.
learning?
Yeah, we'll see.
All one guy, revenue, self-sustainable, so profitable basically, right?
Yeah.
No funding, awesome, congratulations. And if you don't know Readitlater, it's at Readitlater.
Readitlaterlist.com.
Okay, very cool. Well, thanks very much for providing that great service.
Yeah, all right, thanks.